A little boy stands by a stream in a forest, and the girl with him is upset for leaving, so he promises her they will be friends forever. In the present, Kazuma wakes up after this strange dream on the train. He is traveling with his brother Ayumu, and the brothers see how beautiful their destination is outside the train. The boys arrive in Yamabiko town and are headed to the Yorozuyo Inn, an inn they visited in their childhood and whose owner was friends with their dad, who has agreed to let them stay. But since they are city folk, they accidentally get on the wrong bus and end several miles away from their destination. They soon have to wait at an old bus stop to take them back to town. As they wait, a monkey appears and takes Ayumu's hat and runs away. Kazuma chases the monkey into the forest and finds the area difficult to navigate. He chases the monkey up a tree. He manages to recover his brother's hat but gets lost. He meets Ui in the forest, a cheerful local girl who loves plants and who guides him back to the bus stop. She shows him how to cross the stream, but he gets a flashback and accidentally lands and kisses Ui. Ui's friend Ibuki saw the whole thing and calls him a pervert before chasing him off, threatening to call the police. They give him directions to the bus stop and Kazuma makes it back to his brother. They make it to the inn and meet Senka, the landlady who remembers them when they were children. She is very kind until Kazuma accidentally calls her an old woman. The brothers get nice rooms and are amazed with the inn. Kazuma decides to take a bath and runs into Tsumugi, who works in the inn. Senka also walks in and calls him small. Later, Senka provides dinner for them and Kazuma thinks about the day and wishes he could see Ui again. Ayumu has a nightmare and the brothers sleep together. That morning they formally meet Tsumugi, who guides them to the local high school. Kazuma explains as they walk to school the brothers have moved to the countryside as it is better for Ayumu's health. At school, Ibuki catches Ui daydreaming about the day before and they are surprised to see Kazuma has transferred into their class. The night before, Ui had a dream of her and her brother sharing a cheesecake, leading to her kiss with Kazuma in the forest. She wakes up thinking about the kiss. In the present, Kazuma introduces himself to the class. He is assigned to sit in the back next to Ui and Ibuki. The class questions him on his relationship with Ibuki, who recognized him from the stream. The two start fighting because she doesn't want anything to do with him. After literature class, he meets Daigo, who is impressed with Kazuma's progress with the girls. They have lunch with the girls and Kazuma discovers that Ui always eats a huge amount of food. Since Kazuma is new, they decide to show him around town. And Ibuki comes to make sure he doesn't hit on Ui. Kazuma calls Ayumu to see if his brother can join them. Tsumugi comes along as well and they meet Kasane, her younger sister who is with Ayumu. They explore the countryside and they notice that the brothers act very close to each other. They arrive at a convenience store that is a popular hangout for teenagers in the town, where Ui buys only cheese-flavored snacks. They also explore the downtown area, full of local shops, and Kasane shares lots of gossip about the families that run the stores. The group tell the brothers about a legend of the mountain they were lost in the day before, where a heavenly couple lived together and were separated by an angry god. This results in the two mountains that separate the village, and it is said their shouts of love created the town that sits in the middle of the mountain. Their next destination is the local shrine where Kazuma meets the Miko Madoka, who is also a classmate at their school. After hearing his name, she runs away. The group decide to end their day at a dessert parlor where they have lots of dessert. Kazuma wipes away cream from Ui's face, and she flashbacks and calls him brother. That night, Ui thinks about her day and is happy that she called Kazuma brother. That night, Madoka dreams about playing with a boy by a stream, who gives her a ring of flowers. The next morning, Senka walks in on the brothers thinking they are doing something improper due to her wild imagination. After he drops off his brother, Kazuma meets with his friends, but he feels like someone is watching him. At school, Kazuma finds out there are already many rumors about him because of the incident in the forest with Ui, and he continues to feel like someone is stalking him. He spots the stalker but accidentally runs into Madoka instead, but she is so flustered she flips him to the floor and runs away. Tsumugi takes him to the nurse to recover. The next day, he goes to the shrine to apologize to Madoka, who apologizes to him as well. They formally introduce themselves to each other, but she asks him about the rumor with Ui and is sad to hear that they kissed. Suddenly, he is hit by an acorn thrown by Koyori, one of Tsumugi's sisters who has been stalking him and calls him a menace. She throws acorns at him but runs away when Madoka defends him. The next day, Ui and Kazuma join Ayumu, who has been drawing the countryside, but when Ayumu is feeling sick, Kazuma carries him. Ui flashbacks to memories of her brother and wishes that Kazuma would also carry her. At the inn Ayumu sleeps, Ui makes a mess eating all the refreshments. The next day Kazuma accidentally lands on Hina, an upperclassman. He calls her phone ornament cute and she leaves embarrassed. Daigo tells Kazuma that she is the cold beauty of the school. At lunch the group talk about the upcoming sports festival and a triathlon where participants represent different businesses around town. Senka asks him if he can represent the inn in the race, and she helps him to train. While jogging he runs into Koyori, who is saving a cat up a tree and manages to catch her when she falls. He comes with her to visit old man Gengaro, who she is getting groceries for because he is elderly. Gengaro talks about his sick grandson Keita, and Koyori agrees to get medicine for Keita. Hina can't stop thinking about meeting Kazuma, and she wants to apologize to him for acting cold. Kazuma continues to train and he meets Ibuki training for the archery club. Ibuki tells him Ui is training in her own way. As promised, Koyori helps Gengaro visit the sick Keita. Keita asks Koyori if she can win the upcoming race for him, and Koyori promises she will win at all costs. Hina is also training and sees an abandoned toy on the road. She meets Kazuma and is embarrassed to be seen with the toy. He also meets Madoka, who tells him more about the mountain's legend, that a star bridge appears across the sky when the couple in the mountains finally meet again. The day of the sports festival arrives and Tsumugi and Hina are captains of opposing teams. Daigo is the announcer for the festival, and Ui wins a race because she loves food, while Madoka has trouble because she is too short. An expressionless Hina easily wins the sprint. Tsumugi has trouble in the obstacle course. And Ibuki easily wins the archery competition by imagining the target as Kazuma's face. The group have lunch to prepare for the final race, and when the race is about to start, Ayumu cheers for Kazuma in a questionable outfit. They first must eat 30 bowls of red bean that Ui wins easily. Then they must catch eels, and finally they have to wear random costumes. Koyori leads the race but has to run in a wedding dress. Ui and Hina are slowed down because Hina finds Ui's costume too cute and chases her. At the last leg of the race, Koyori is injured and a tuxedoed Kazuma tells her to stop injuring herself. She tells him of her promise to Keita, and Kazuma decides to carry Koyori to the finish so that she can get first place. Gengaro and Keita watch as Koyori is announced the winner. At school, the girls are surprised to hear Kazuma hasn't been studying for finals, and tell him that if he doesn't score well, he will have to give up his summer vacation. To help him, they all go to the inn to study together for finals. Hina still hasn't apologized to Kazuma, so she goes to the inn as well and she meets Ayumu. The group study for hours and decide to take a break at the inn's bathhouse. The boys find the walls are very thin, and Daigo attempts to climb up the wall but is stopped by Koyori. Daigo tries again by sneaking through the backyard but is stopped by Senka. After their baths, the group relax by watching the fireflies, which the town is famous for. The fireflies remind Ui of her brother Hajime and how she was upset that he married when he grew up. She became traumatized when she saw her brother and his fiancée kissing amongst the fireflies, and was depressed at their wedding. After studying a long time, the group decide to stay over at the inn, and that night Kazuma and Ui accidentally run into each other. Ui eats leftover food because her rumbling stomach wakes everyone up, and Madoka wakes up during the night to see Kazuma and Ui together. The group does well in the school finals and they decide to go to the city of Honcho nearby to celebrate. Everyone except Ayumu and Ibuki decide to go on the trip, and they go to an arcade in the city. Madoka attracts a lot of attention and Ui fails to win any snacks in the crane game. Daigo plays a game where the players all strip but are caught by the girls. Kazuma plays the crane game and wins a phone ornament of the local mascot Nyan Bobo. Hina asks for it and he gives it to her. They decide to go to karaoke and have a fun time singing and eating snacks. The next day, the group decide to watch Ibuki's archery competition. They try to cheer her up, but Ibuki seems to be distracted. Ibuki is eliminated in the last round and she doesn't meet up with the group after. Worried, Kazuma finds her sitting alone in the overlook and she professes that she lost the competition because she was sick of archery after so many years and just wanted the competition to be over. Kazuma cheers her up by telling her to scream her frustrations over the town. He later agrees not to tell anyone what happened. Later, Kazuma invites the group on a trip and they all take a trip to the beach. Madoka is embarrassed to be seen by so many people and accidentally bumps into Kazuma. Madoka has trouble with a floaty, so Kazuma helps her. The group have fun swimming, but Ibuki avoids the water because she can't swim, and she punishes Kazuma. Hina and Kazuma help teach Ayumu and Ibuki how to swim. This makes Ui think about her brother. Madoka asks Ui about her relationship with Kazuma, and Ui says that she thinks of Kazuma like an older brother, which makes Madoka relieved. They split a watermelon to share, and Ibuki just keeps attacking Kazuma, while Ui is able to find and split the watermelon by sniffing around. Ayumu asks Tsumugi about her job at the inn, and Tsumugi tells him that she hopes to work at the inn full-time because she loves the town. On their way home, Ui asks Ibuki what she thinks about Kazuma, and Ibuki becomes embarrassed. One day, Kazuma finds Hina sitting alone in the park and she almost passes out from hunger. He gets her food and she reveals she has run away from home without money or clothes. He sneaks her into his room because she has nowhere to stay, and later he accidentally catches her cleaning herself. At night they sleep together and she reveals that she ran away because her dad doesn't want her to go to university in Tokyo, afraid she would never return to their small town. She finally apologizes to him for acting cold in their first meeting, and Kazuma encourages her to speak to her father about her true feelings. In the morning, Senka accidentally catches them together and forces them to clean the inn to earn their keep. Hina's dad comes to fetch her and he accuses Kazuma of seducing Hina with talk of the big city. Senka kicks him out for causing trouble at the inn. The next day, Hina's dad challenges Kazuma to a tug-of-war for Hina's freedom. The town gathers to watch the tug-of-war at the shrine. Kazuma his memory of Hina's chat with him as motivation, and he wins the tug-of-war. That night, Hina hugs her father after her mother tells her that he was planning to lose anyway so that she could go to the university she wanted. Madoka hears about the tug-of-war over Hina and becomes depressed. Koyori hears that Madoka won't leave her room, and Gregoro tells her that she is probably confusing the tug-of-war as Kazuma's proposal to Hina. Koyori finds the group studying and tells Kazuma the news, and once the confusion is cleared, she heads to Madoka to cheer her up. The group except Kazuma decides to plan a date for Madoka and Kazuma, but Ibuki becomes frustrated and voices her concern to Ui. Kasane and Koyori meet Madoka, giving her the plan for the date with Kazuma, and they set up a situation so that Kazuma and Madoka are alone the whole day. The two spend the day at the amusement park together, and the rides are too much for Madoka. The haunted house is also too much for her. Finally, they have a romantic ride on the Ferris wheel. The next day they decide to go hiking today, and they go into the forest together at the stream where they were children. At the stream, Kazuma realized Madoka was the girl from his memories, and Madoka reveals that she could not forget the memory of them playing together as kids. She had hoped that the stream would help him remember and asks him if she remembered their goodbye that day, and Kazuma promises they will always be friends. On their way to school, Ibuki and Ui talk about Kazuma, and Ibuki warns Ui that if she has feelings for Kazuma, she should confess to him or someone else will steal him, including herself. That night, both girls think about confessing to Kazuma. A bored Kazuma goes into town and he runs into Ibuki. They decide to go into the city since the rest of the group are busy, and she missed the last trip because of the archery tournament. In the city, Ibuki and Kazuma have a fun time playing games in the arcade, shopping for different outfits for each other, eating spaghetti together, and singing with each other in karaoke. They are shocked when they are given a free drink for being a cute couple. Meanwhile, back at the inn, Ayumu draws a picture of Ui as a gift for Kazuma. Ayumu thinks that she is going out with his brother, and Ui denies it while Tsumugi arrives and tells Ui that Kazuma is not her older brother. Ui asks permission from Ayumu if she could confess to Kazuma, thinking about her experience with her older brother. After their day in the city, Ibuki and Kazuma have drinks together and she asks him out, but Kazuma thinks that she is joking. Realizing his mistake on his way home, he runs back to apologize to her, but she tries to argue that she really was joking. The next day, Ibuki screams out her frustration at the overlook, while Ui finally congratulates her brother for his marriage. The next day, Senka informs Kazuma that as the top-placing male in the town race, he is to be in the town's upcoming play about the heavenly couple to represent the male god and all the males in the village. Daigo tells him in their grandparents' time, couples use the play to confess, so many people compete to play the god and goddess in the play. Tsumugi is chosen to play the goddess with Hina and Ui as backups, so they all practice at the shrine. Sensing something, Tsumugi asks Ui about Kazuma and finds out that Ui loves him. At the same time, Hina encourages Kazuma to be honest about his feelings. The day of the festival, Tsumugi says that she has major stomach pain and asks Ui if she can take her place as the goddess for the festival. The festival starts and Madoka plays the role of the messenger, as Kazuma plays the role of the male god in the town festival. He driven by wagon to the bridge and is surprised to see Ui on the other side. Overcome with emotion, he tosses out the script and declares his love for Ui. With encouragement from Ibuki, Ui also confesses to Kazuma in front of the town. That night, Madoka and Ibuki watch the new couple go to the stream where they first met, and Kazuma and Ui share a kiss under the stars. And this is all for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to ES Anime if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.